Viewers, welcome to the Policy Times, people's voice on public policy and foreign affairs issues. Today we have with us Maj Gen Bakshi sir, and he's a veteran person on foreign affairs and India's defense strategy. We will talk about the current defense affairs and all. So, sir, welcome to the Policy Times. The first question is, sir, there was a ceasefire recently by Pakistan which killed 2 BSF and 8 to 10 civilians. What is your, and today the defense minister said that we will come back with a strong response. What is your?
I think this ceasefire has been a bit of a damn squib. It's just not taken off. Every time you enunciate and put into place a policy, it has to be based on certain assumptions of what are the expected outcomes. We were expecting that peace would break out and people would have relief. I'm sorry, just the contrary has happened on the ground. Firstly, the Lashkar-e-Toiba refused to accept your ceasefire. The Jaish-e-Mohammed said they will exploit it to increase their attacks. The Pakistani army, which we were told was prepared to negotiate and have a ceasefire, opened up from day one and haven't stopped firing. Then they had another reimposed ceasefire by talks with the DGMOs. Between the DGMOs, a ceasefire was worked out. And within one day, they had killed 2 of our BSF boys and wounded 8 to 10 civilians in that particular area. So how long can India take this lying down? You see, we wanted to give a break. We had a very nice intention of honoring the people's sentiments during Ramadan. Give the people a break. But nobody has given the people a break. The people, on the contrary, they are being incited by the jihadis. They are pelting stones, trying to kill CRPF people. They have made no-go zones where the army, the police, the CRPF just cannot venture. Now, can any nation state accept this nonsense?
Right.
You see, any policy has to be a mixture of what is called carrots and sticks. It cannot be carrots alone and it cannot be sticks alone. They have to be judiciously combined. And I thought they would have had much better results if they had let the army carry on with its all-out offensive. Get the situation to where these people were prepared to talk. You don't put them under pressure. Why should they talk? They just refuse your talks. So just saying we will have talks and therefore talks will start, I'm afraid it doesn't work that way unless adequate pressure is put on the other side. Whatever pressure the army has put has been taken away by Mehbooba Mufti. The main battle is not as much with the 200 terrorists. Please understand, when I was in J&K, there was something like 3,500 to 4,000 terrorists armed. Today these are down to 200. And the army is trying to eliminate them as fast as possible. They are making a big dance, song and dance. Oh, terrorists are being recruited. अरे यार उस वक्त 3,500 से 4,000 थे, अब 200 हैं. तो आप क्या किसको क्या डरा रहे हो कि मतलब जब 4,000 थे तो हमने कभी नहीं बोला कि कश्मीर जाने दो. अब 200 है तो आप कह रहे हैं कश्मीर जाने दो क्योंकि पत्थर मार रहे हैं. मतलब I have not understood this whole policy prescription. And on what basis it has been worked out. Every year before Amarnath Yatra, we intensify operations and we go all out. We go all out to hit the terrorists, because so that during the Amarnath Yatra they don't attack the pilgrims. This time you have given them a ceasefire, given them a cool sim, do what you want. The security forces have been obviously tied down hand and foot. They can't fire back, they can't do anything, and these are the people who are getting aggressive, mounting. Their fear is totally gone because they feel that the security forces will be handled by Mehbooba Mufti. She will make sure that if they do anything, FIRs will be registered against them. This is an amazing situation. You are making a laughing stock out of your army, your CRPF, your police. Please don't do this. We should now hit back and raise costs and consequences for Pakistan. Only if you punish them adequately will they be prepared to talk. You have not punished them adequately. You have done what you think is adequate by just retaliating in kind. Small arms and mortars to build up troops does nothing.
Yeah.
I have spent 37 years in the army. I know this for a fact. It just makes noise. It kills civilians, all right. That's all. Once in a while it kills the odd soldier. So what are you trying to tell us, that you have retaliated very strongly? Yes, we started off well. We did one surgical strike. Then full stop. Why full stop? I thought this should be a two-way traffic now. Every time he crosses the LC, you cross back and hit back. So by now we should have done something like 50-60 surgical strikes, 200-300 fire assaults. And fire assaults, when I'm talking of artillery. I'm not talking of mortars and small arms. So that does nothing. So don't try and fool the people by saying that, oh, we have done this, because you haven't. You haven't done anything which has caused him adequate pain or punishment. Please punish Pakistan. Please cause adequate pain to make him desist from what he is doing.
So Kashmir remains a burning issue. Pakistan remains there. China is there. So I think there are three different and important things which is blocking the peace process in the entire region, South Asia and India. I mean, when we want to emerge as a superpower in the region and maybe a very responsible power in Asia and for the world, what are the solutions, or maybe 3-point, 5-point, 10-point solution you find to handle all these three important things together?
You see, you are facing a two-front threat. A two-front threat, because China is your primary long-term enemy and Pakistan is your immediate problem. They're not letting you live. They haven't let you breathe for the last 30 years. They have waged proxy war, asymmetric warfare against you, and they are doing it merrily. Because they say you escalate, we will use nuclear weapons, and people here get scared. They think Pakistan will actually use nuclear weapons. Pakistan dare not, because we also have nuclear weapons. And if we fire all 120 of them against a country which is 1/5 our size, that country will go up in smoke and dust. एक साली दाने अनाज का दाना नहीं उगेगा वहां पे अगले 70-80 साल, तो आप भूल ही जाइए. भूखा मर जाएंगे ये लोग अगर ये इन्होंने न्यूक्लियर वेपन का इस्तेमाल करने की हिमाकत करी. तो हम क्यों डर रहे हैं इससे? We should hit back hard. There are ways to hit back without going to full-scale war. We had done it in 2003. We had used artillery in 2003. Why are we now confined only to police-level weapons?
Yeah.
Everything has come down to the police. Don't respond below the police. This is what Nehru had said. We don't need the army. We only need the police. कि आर्मी को हटाओ तो सिर्फ पुलिस की राइफलें काम करेंगे. Small arms से हम काम चला लेंगे.
Police cannot bring solution.
I'm sorry, it cannot be done. You have an army, you have an air force, you have a navy. They are not meant for Republic Day parade alone. Please use them to good effect.
But my question is, sir, that Pakistan is nothing. We can defeat Pakistan, I think, in any day. And where is the courage that Pakistan is getting from?
The courage Pakistan is getting from
China, or is it the other forces, or is it like
Pakistan's
a
main
mad dog type?
Pakistan's main backer now is China and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia funds it. China has put almost close to $60 billion investment in Pakistan, so-called for the China-Pakistan economic corridor. It has put Pakistan in a debt trap, like it has put Sri Lanka in a debt trap. It has built this economic one belt, one road through Indian territory, sovereign Indian territory, violated our sovereignty. How can we take it lying down? How can we accept it? And now it is going to turn Gwadar into a naval base. It has already turned that naval base at Djibouti in Africa. Is created a naval base. It is trying to get one in Hangui in Myanmar. It is trying to get one in Hambantota in Sri Lanka, which it has already grabbed by putting them in a debt trap. So Pakistan has to be careful as to what it is doing, how much it should let the dragon inside the house. It may be very difficult to get them out.
Pakistan should be more careful with
Pakistan
China.
Needs to be more careful with China, but it is their problem. They are using it to create a problem for us.
Yeah, for us.
So therefore, we have to be quite clear. We should be ready to deal with Pakistan at short notice. And if China jumps in, we should be ready to deal with them equally. I think we can hold our own. But we need to strengthen our armed forces. We had great hopes from this government that it would rapidly speed up the rearmament process, the modernization process.
Right.
But it has been able to achieve very little. The bureaucrats seem to have dug their heels down कि उनकी हमारी चमड़ी न जाए, भाड़ में जाए हिंदुस्तान का डिफेंस, भाड़ में जाए फौज, आर्मी, नेवी, एयरफोर्स. हमको जब तक CBI का इंक्वायरी का फिक्र है, हम तो कुछ नहीं हिलने देंगे. So they have not let it move. The Rafale hasn't come, the LCA hasn't come, the medium guns haven't come. Yet, despite all that, what we have is adequate to deal with Pakistan. We need to cater for China, and even with China, we are not at such a great disadvantage. ये 62 का मामला नहीं है. and even the Chinese know it. So therefore they are trying to have peace talks, they are trying to tamp down this level of aggression that is there on both sides. But it is, let's see if it works. They have called Prime Minister Modi to China now for talks, unstructured, impromptu talks. We hope it works. But if it does not, we have to be ready to take action. And for that, I think the requirement of the time is an alliance structure. We need to cooperate with Japan, with Vietnam, with South Korea, with all nations that feel threatened by the Chinese. We need to cooperate with Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. All these nations are threatened by China, especially after its aggressive South China Sea policy. It has been trying to throw its weight around, and we must be alive to that, and we must react to that. And for that, the answer is to have an alliance structure. We initially went to the United States. The United States wants to counterbalance China. They are very keen. They know that the only country which can counterbalance China is India. But that does not mean that we then, become the poodle of Uncle Sam.
Right.
The simple fact is that initially our policies were incongruence, and that is time Donald Trump was very upset with Pakistan. That suited us. He was very upset with China. That suited us. He wanted to be friendly to Russia. That suited us because we are friends with both. Now all of a sudden the deep state in America has forced Donald Trump to backtrack from his peace overtures to President Putin, and in doing so you have tried to take enmity there. You have then forced China and Pakistan to come together, and you are also now creating problems for India. The Americans are out to create problems for India. They are saying you won't buy weapons from Russia.
Right.
And that is going to do great damage because Russia gives us cutting edge weapons technology. It is prepared to give you nuclear submarines, lease. It is prepared to give you stealth fighter aircraft. It is prepared to give you submarine, tanks, artillery, whatever you need, name, it is prepared to give you, which the Americans are not. Americans will not lease a nuclear submarine to you. Americans will not give you missile technology. They will not give you fifth generation fighters. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful how far we can go with America. We need to reassess. But we should go in for an Asian alliance. An Asian alliance of Japan, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, etc. against China, Pakistan combined.
So do you think, sir, that China, somewhere when we study media, we feel that China has kept us busy on Kashmir and Pakistan issue, and so that we are busy here and China is building its military power so that we can never take them on. So do you think that somewhere we are making a mistake by focusing too much on Kashmir and Pakistan? Instead, we should focus on China, and if we achieve on China, already somehow Pakistan and Kashmir should be slightly controlled.
I mean, that sounds good in theory. It can't work out in practice. When somebody is hitting you, killing your people, you can't say I will deal with China, but ये तो बड़ी छोटी प्रॉब्लम है. छोटी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है साहब. 80,000 आपके हिंदुस्तानी नागरिक मारे जा चुके हैं जब से पाकिस्तान ने दखल अंदाजी शुरू करी है. 21,000 मरे पंजाब में. 21,000 died in Punjab. Another 45,000 have died in J&K. They are still dying. And then he spread terrorism to all over the country, and that is in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Allahabad, Varanasi, you name it.
So who is a bigger problem for India?
So your immediate problem is Pakistan. The bigger problem and long-term problem is China. You should not deal with both of them together. There should be a time separation. And for that, I would say deal with the weaker power first, then turn to face the stronger power. Otherwise, you would lose against both. Otherwise, you lose against both. You are in a two-front situation. There is no denying it. Any power that has been in a two-front situation has tried to buy peace on one side, turn around and sort the weaker power out, and then turn to face the stronger power. That is the normal strategic response. And we should follow that strategic response.
Right. Sir, talking about the OBOR strategy that China is working on, do you think OBOR is a military and strategic threat for us? For India?
It certainly is. Firstly, as part of the OBR policy, the Chinese are constructing a road through Gilgit-Baltistan, which is sovereign Indian territory. They have violated Indian sovereignty. Why should India not protest? Why should we take it lying down? Now Pakistan is trying to ingest that state of Gilgit-Baltistan and say it is a province of Pakistan, which it was a disputed territory. It still is. Pakistan is nobody to do that. We should protest, we should hate, but we are accepting it quietly. That is what I'm saying. We need to deal with the nuisance first, which is not letting you breathe every day. Don't decide to fight that nuisance when you have to fight the Chinese. Separate that in time. Deal with them sequentially and not concurrently. That should be the aim of India's grand strategy. Get allies to counterbalance China. Get Japan, get Vietnam, get North Korea, get Taiwan. These are Asian powers which are quite worried about China's rise, and they look towards India. And India is not the India of 1962 ka tamasha. We can give it back very hard. And the Chinese may suddenly be shocked by the response. So that's what I'm trying to say, that we can deal with both the combined China-Pakistan, but we should deal with them sequentially. And my suggestion is deal with Pakistan first, then turn to face China.
Right. So that was Major General GD Bakshi sir with us. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll be back with another expert on another subject. Thank you so much.
Thank you.